Let's make pappardelle with beurre noisette and shaved parmesan. What is that, you might ask? Beurre noisette is the French term for brown butter, and it is the most delicious ingredient that you can use in a savory or a sweet application. Now that you've made your pasta dough, you've rolled it out, and you've cut your pieces into pappardelle, then you can go ahead with this recipe. First, you want to make your beurre noisette. So go ahead and melt your butter, swirl it around in a saucepan on medium-low heat. And you're going to do that for a few minutes until you notice that it smells nice and toasty, nutty, and you will see some brown particles that form on the bottom. And that's just the milk solids becoming caramelized. So this completely changes the flavor of the butter, and you'll notice that it is the most intoxicating aroma. You can use your finished beurre noisette for this sauce, and oh, there it goes. Now you can see those little brown dots. Now you want to take it off the heat so that it does not burn. I'm adding my chili flakes here so that the beurre noisette has a little bit of that chili flake infusion. So I'm just taking this off the heat while I boil my pasta. So I have some boiling water here, and I put a healthy pinch of salt. I want to make sure that when I cook this pasta that it gets seasoned also from the inside out. Now this is pappardelle that I just made, and I cut. So it's going to cook very quickly, not the same amount of rate as dried pasta. It's going to be much faster than that. However, depending on how thick you made your pasta sheets, then it'll depend on how quickly your pappardelle is finished in the boiling water. So what you want to do, maybe about a minute or so after cooking, take one out and give it a taste. Taste it, see if it has any raw dough, see if it has that kind of brittle raw dough taste and texture, and then just cook it a little more. Maybe take it another minute, maybe 30 seconds. This is not about me giving you a precise time. It's about you being intuitive with your pasta and understanding that every single shape cooks at a different rate and also at a different speed. So if I were to give you, 2 minutes, then it might not be the case. So just go ahead and taste it and use your intuition. Once it is al dente, which has a little bit of a bite, then we're going to transfer it into that saucepan that had the beurre noisette infused with the chili flakes. I have tested my pappardelle and it is to the al dente stage. So now I'm going to move my pasta pot out of the way, and I'm going to put that saucepan in its place. The saucepan has the beurre noisette infused with the chili flakes, if you remember. So we're getting that back on the stove and then adding heat again. And from here, we're going to add in the cooked pappardelle. Excuse my arm's reach. The important thing to remember when you're cooking fresh pasta is this pretty much the same as when you made your bechamel to cheese pasta, but that starchy water from cooking the pasta is so important, and you're going to be using that starchy water for this recipe's sauce as well as the ravioli today. So you see I add about a quarter of a cup or so of the pasta water to this, and you'll notice at the beginning it looks real watery and it looks real loose, but as it continues to cook and it reduces, kind of those starches swell and they thicken and it becomes an actual sauce. So you may think, I need to pair this with a real heavy sauce, a cream sauce or a real heavy tomato sauce. Why don't you just try this very simple recipe, and you'll see that highlighting these very elemental ingredients, you'll still end up with something absolutely delicious. So now that my sauce has thickened, I'm going to transfer this to a serving plate and garnish with some freshly shaved Parmigiano Reggiano. So you want to enjoy this as quickly as you can, because as it sits, the pasta will cook, it will get It will not be the same beautiful texture as it was. So I'm going to shave some Parmesan here, and it's best to really do this fresh. If you have the already shaved one and you put on top, it's just not the same as doing it fresh over it. So if you wanted to add other things to this as a garnish, for example, fresh basil or something like that, you would have to do that with your own ingredients. But go ahead and enjoy this now that it's freshly made, and hope you enjoy your fresh pasta, pappardelle with beurre noisette and shaved Parmesan.